Boundaries do not work when your nervous system doesn't let you enforce them. Hi, my name is Courtney. I'm a 22-year trauma counselor with 17 years in trauma recovery. I'm real, raw, and relatable, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do step by step to help you get those boundaries in place so that you can actually start healing and moving forward with your life. So let's get into it. Step number one, when you are working on boundaries, the first thing that you need to do is work on your nervous system. If you have a nervous system that is hypersensitive to anything that seems difficult or perceives change, boundaries are going to be so hard for you that you are going to feel like you're hijacked after every single time you try to put a boundary in place. How many times have you rehearsed boundaries, gone through it, thought about it, wrote about it, and then the moment comes where you sit down and then you clam up, you shut down, you go into a freeze state. Why is that? Something must have happened earlier on in life that communicated that boundaries are not safe because either someone gets mad, something bad happens, and or other things that could present for you. And that is something to explore. So your step one is working on your nervous system and finding ways to sit with things that are a little bit uncomfortable on a daily basis. For example, you may find telling someone, no, I can't do that, is something you say often, but you feel uncomfortable with. When you do that every single day, with intention, conscious, sitting with it saying, I know this feels uncomfortable, but I'm going to sit with it and I'm going to do it anyways because I know it's what's best for me. You are actively, cognitively communicating to your body that I understand, I see and feel the discomfort, and I want to work through this. Every single time that you repeat that behavior, you are changing and rewiring your nervous system. It is neuroscience. So step one, to recap, is to work with building your capacity to cope, your window of tolerance. Number two, when we start working on our nervous system, because that's what we need to do to work on boundaries, we want to choose low stake situations for ourselves. Again, we don't want to come out swinging and try to work on our nervous system and sitting with things that are challenging with someone that may have tendencies of a narcissist and or you are very connected to them that you get dysregulated easily. We want to find things in everyday life that may be frustrating, again, on a scale of 3 to 4, but things that you can sit with. And you want to start small, because when you start small, it's not too frightening. And if it's not too frightening, we communicate safety to your nervous system, and your nervous system is a little bit more willing to help you and allow you, if you will, to proceed with and execute your boundary that you put in place. The third thing that you want to focus on as you are working on building a capacity to cope with your nervous system is committing yourself to one act for 66 days. It's not 21 days to build a habit, and I don't care what anybody says. Look into the research behind 66 days because there is something to be said about that. So just say to yourself, for the next 66 days, I'm going to find one tiny little thing that I do on a daily basis that I feel really uncomfortable with. And I'm going to cognitively and physically and emotionally, with intention, work on it each and every time. And at the end of the 66 days, I'm going to see how I feel with that. And I guarantee you're going to come back to this video and say, you know what? This is what I worked on. And in 2 months, I've made significant progress where my capacity to cope with what was uncomfortable has significantly increased. And that is how you start to work with healing your nervous system so that when it comes time to actually start working with boundaries, real boundaries with real consequences, your nervous system can handle it. The whole secret, if you will, behind boundary building is whether or not someone has a solid foundation. And that foundation happens to be your nervous system. So if you start here, I promise you, it is going to get better. So make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be doing a whole series on boundaries. The next video that's coming out is the number one boundary that we get wrong, that most people don't think about, that is the most important. And I'm going to teach you about it and how to set it. So grab my PDF, my ebook below, comment what you're struggling with the most, and let's actually start healing from a place that makes sense. I'm going to be bringing in concepts of neuroscience and all of my years of expertise, telling you right here, off the clock with me. See you next time.